Hi, my name's Chuck Yessing. This is my intro video and my thoughts on testing. Uh, Going back, my first memories of testing where I'm in second grade and we're bubbling and we're bubbling and we're bubbling and we're filling in bubbles. I got real good at filling in bubbles with a number two lead pencil. At that point, the test started. We had been doing 45 minutes of bubbling, and then the test started, and I found out we had to bubble all our answers. And all I really remember is it took a long time. It was arduous. I don't remember it being particularly difficult, but it was just a long time of filling in circles. So that's my first standardized test memory. Fast forward to eighth grade, I was in a new school. I was in a Catholic school. We were taking the TELS test that all the public school kids were taking. Not sure why we were taking it. I bubbled in, and I got my results back, and apparently I got a perfect score. I got the actual test, and there were a lot of red marks on there. I don't know what the standard was, and I don't know who was responsible for recording this, but I don't really believe I got a perfect score. But hey, I got my picture in the local newspaper. That was kind of cool. My friends asked me how I did that. No idea. I really don't think I did get a perfect score, but apparently I did. No stress. Again, both of those tests were long. They were a little bit arduous, but wasn't high stakes testing. My first high stakes test came as the SAT. I do remember the first part of high school not really having trouble with tests. I do remember once I transferred out of Cardinal Doherty to LaSalle, the test got a lot more difficult. It was a challenge, especially in math. A lot of times I felt like I didn't know what was going to be on the test. And I really think, looking back, it was more of I didn't know how to prepare. And as a teacher, I try to make sure I instill that in my students, how to prepare properly. I do remember taking the SAT. I had to take it 3 times. First time I took it, I tried to answer all the questions, and that was a huge mistake. That's not how you take the SAT. Once I took a little course on how to do the test properly, suddenly my score went up and I was able to go to college. In college, I was trying to get the max for the min, putting in minimal effort, minimal reading, minimal work rate. Resulted in a terrible GPA my sophomore year. Beginning my junior year, I had a little reflection on, you need to do better. You need to prepare better. And it's at that point that I dedicated myself to preparing properly, reading everything, outlining everything, doing the assignments as good as possible. And once that happened, class became easy. I didn't even need review sheets because I already knew what was going to be on the quiz or test. From there, that carried me even after I graduated. I had a short-term stint in banking, which didn't work for me. I decided to come back and become a math teacher. When I prepared properly, everything fell into place. Praxis wasn't an issue because I knew what I was doing, and I wasn't trying to get the maximum result with the minimum input. As a teacher, my memory's long, and one of the things I remember is not really knowing how to prepare. So things I do is I help my kids prepare for tests. I help my students. I do allow note cards. I do one big test a quarter. It's either the midterm or the quarter test. Everything else is a quiz. And when you stitch those quizzes together, that's what's going to make the quarter test or the midterm. So I try to instill in my students it's step by step, block by block. When young people look at things like midterms or finals, it's so overwhelming that they can't even conceive of where to start a lot of times. That was me. Once I learned this is how you prepare and this is how you go about doing things, this is how you can organize your material so that you've memorized it and the teacher can't ask you anything you don't already know. That's when I had success. And I try to instill that and teach those habits to my own students. The way I think we can make testing better, and some of my colleagues would not agree with me, is make it more real world. In the real world, if I don't know something, I can go to a math textbook and look it up and read it and practice it, and suddenly I know it. And I can share it with my students the very next day. Students who know everything, who prepare like I prepared when I was in college, when I did well anyway, should be rewarded with superior grades. But students that don't quite know things and need to be pushed in the right direction shouldn't get zero, shouldn't get no credit. Certainly, they should get less credit, but it should be more real world. If you can't figure it out, even with all our help, then yeah, you haven't done your fair share of work, and maybe you need to go back. But like in the real world, I think students should be able to retake things. And again, that's not a popular sentiment among teachers right now. A lot of us are tired and burnout with COVID and going virtual and then being in school. So the flexibility for most teachers isn't there. And I guess that's why I'm somewhat popular with the kids. I'll tell them point blank, if you can do this, you will know exactly what to do on your quiz or test. If you can solve this, as we're doing problems, I will point out this will definitely be on a test. This will definitely be on a quiz. Make sure you highlight it. Um, so those are the things I think about testing. I think we need to make it more doable for these kids. These students are not like we were growing up. We need to remember that. They're different, and we need to change the way we help them prepare. And we probably need to change the way we assess as well. So those are my thoughts. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon. Bye.